Hi guys, um, recently I did an HR presentation regarding the motivation among employees in the organization. So I think what you feel about the presentation and your insights is much more valuable because based on that only I will be able to do on the further presentation which is being said in the mentioned topics as well. So the next presentation will be I will be doing on wellness work-life balance. On this, before that, I would like to clearly instruct on this because I'll be doing on a multilingual language in English as well as in Tamil, and this will be very much easier. Will be very much easier for you guys to understand, as well as I'll be maximum putting the subtitles below so that it will be there is some clarity of thoughts in which we will be able to have understanding as well. ஸோ வெல்னஸ் ஒர்க் லைஃப் பேலன்ஸ் இது என்னென்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வெல்னஸ் இன் ஒர்க் லைஃப் பேலன்ஸ் அந்த டாப்பிக்லேயே வந்து கிளியராக கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. எப்படி வந்து நம்ம ஒர்க் லைஃப் பேலன்ஸ் ரெண்டுத்தையும் வந்து சமூகமாக இட் வில் பி லைக் அ பேலன்ஸ். ஸோ உங்களுக்கு வந்து கிளியராக சொல்லணும்னா இட் இஸ் லைக் அ இந்த வெயிட் திராட்சரை அப்படின்னு இது பண்ணுறாங்கல்ல, ஸோ அதை எப்படி வந்து பேலன்ஸாக ஒரு நீடில் ஒரு இதில் இருக்குதோ அந்த மாதிரி தான் நம்ம ஒர்க் லைஃப் பேலன்ஸும் இருக்கணும். ஏதாவது ஒரு இடத்துல வந்து வெயிட் ஜாஸ்தி ஆகி கீழே இது ஆனாலும் அந்த மெஷர்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் பேலன்ஸ் வந்து இட் வில் பிகம் நாட் ஸ்டேபிள், இட் இஸ் அன்ஸ்டேபிள். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் தான் ஒர்க் லைஃப் பேலன்ஸ். ஸோ ரெண்டுமே வந்து வெல்னஸ் அண்ட் ஒர்க் லைஃப் பேலன்ஸ் வந்து கோ ஆன் ஹேண்ட் டு ஹேண்ட், சேம் டு சேம். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டண்ட். ஸோ ஒர்க் is actually clearly instructed as a rubber ball. So once rubber ball எப்படின்னா நீங்கள் வந்து பாலை வந்து இது பண்ணிங்கன்னா it will bounce back. So it is like a work life balance. இந்த மாதிரி rubber ball வந்து clearly once you drop it will bounce back. So clearly these rubber balls in our life indicates 4 factors. One is family. அதான் நம்மளோட அப்பா அம்மா எல்லாருமே வந்து எப்படி வந்து அவங்களோட வந்து லவ் அஃபெக்ஷன் நம்மக்கிட்ட இருக்கோ அந்த மாதிரி எப்படி வந்து பேலன்ஸ் பண்ணணும், அவங்களோட எப்படி நம்ம திங்ஸை வந்து ப்ரையாரிட்டைஸ் பண்ணணும், how we are able to go hand in hand with prioritizing the things with them. Next is health. Of course we have to take care of our health as well as around us. The health is an important factor that plays a pivotal role in our stages. So this enables the employees நம்மளாலையும் நல்லா வந்து ஆர்கனைசேஷனுக்கு அவுட்புட் ரிலீஸ் பண்ண முடியும். Friends, of course, they need as an emotional support, emotional bonding, and they actually have a support in our life so that they will actually back up when we are actually letting us down. So this is also plays an important factor, and these relatives as well comes into a wider part because families almost relatives also come. This also actually is made up of glass. If you drop one of these, it gets broken. So that's why it goes hand in hand. It's like a rubber ball. So whole on a collective of bargain, it is actually called as a glass. எப்படி ஒரு கிளாஸ் வந்து அழகாக ஒரு ரிஃபைண்டாக ஒரு இதில் வந்து ஷேப்பாக அழகாக பவுல் மாதிரி இருக்கும், அந்த மாதிரி தான் இதுவும் ஃபேமிலி எக்கோஸ் அண்ட் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் ஹேண்ட் இன் ஹேண்ட். ஸோ Perhaps it has been said that Gary Keller, a real entrepreneurship, who concentrates on it as a work-life balance, and part-timely he does a motivational speech. You can also Google it. Gary Keller is an entrepreneur, is a real estate entrepreneur. So he clearly explains about this work process as a work-life balance. So what is work-life balance? இப்போ நான் சொன்னது வந்து just it's an example. So healthy work-life balance normally increases your productivity and keeps the employees happy. ஸோ ஒரு ஹெல்த்தியான ஒர்க் லைஃப் பேலன்ஸ்னு நான் என்ன சொல்லுவேன், காலையில் வந்து எப்படி உங்கள் திங்ஸை வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் ஃப்ரம் day 1 you are going to prioritize your things. If you're going to wake up at one point of time, it's going to aim that okay today நான் வந்து I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock and this follows on day by day. Actually வந்து anything which actually makes it as a practice, it is actually said that 30 days, anything which falls into the practice consistently is 30 days. நீங்கள் 30 days ஒரு விஷயத்தை வந்து பண்ணிகிட்டே இருந்தீங்கன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக 31 day, the moment on the 31st day it becomes a lifeline change and lifetime changes in your lifestyle as well. So அதுதான் வந்து it's a practice of 30-day challenge. I personally myself took as a 30-day challenge when I was doing a PGDM in life. So this 30-day challenge would be expected as a tremendous amount of change inside my behavior because I usually wake up at 4:30 AM or 5. So இதை வந்து எப்படி நான் என்னோட டே டு டே ரொட்டீனில் ஃபிட் பண்ணால் I felt tremendously pressurized. ஆனால் வந்து once it got fitted into my life, I felt more energetic and I'm able to practice it in a day-to-day routine in life. So it actually saves much more time. I'm learning that as a process. ஸோ இதுதான் ஒரு 30-day challenge. ப்ராப்ளி நீங்களும் வந்து இதை வந்து ட்ரை பண்ணலாம். இட் இஸ் நாட், இது தப்பு கிடையாது. யாராலையும் வந்து எதனாலும் வந்து ஒரு 30 days மேலே பண்ணிங்கன்னா it becomes a practice you can achieve it. So that is what concentrated on organization. It actually increases the productivity and make the employees happy. So let's move on to the strategies of work-life balance. So strategies in not it's like an enormous elaborate number of points which I'm going to discuss about. Simple 3-4 strategies I'll be discussing. So positive self-talk. Positive self-talk, consciously or subconsciously, unconsciously, you're going to self-talk yourself. Do I use my time well? It can be anything. நான் வந்து நாளைக்கு ஒரு பெரிய லீடர் ஆகலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு டெய்லி நீங்கள் தூங்க போகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி, if you're going to sleep, before you sleep, you just go into your deep inside your mind. You just tell inside, it enters into your subconscious level part, and you will become a leader one day. One fine day நீங்கள் காலையில் எழுந்திரிக்கும் போது it develops an inherent feeling that you will do anything with the grace of God. ஸ்பிரிச்சுவலாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, எதுவாக இருந்தாலும் சரி, you will do anything by the grace of God அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு நீங்கள் வந்து அதை வந்து சப்கான்ஷியஸாக உங்கள் மைண்டில் if you're going to do it, it actually builds as a confidence part in you. Next, at one point of time you will become as a leader. ஸோ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், இப்போ எனக்கு வந்து என்ன இனிஷியேட்டிவ்னால், எனக்கு கொஞ்ச நாளாகவே வந்து லீடராக வந்து நான் வந்து இருந்ததாக ஒரு பெரிய இதுவே இல்லை. அப்போ வந்து நான் வந்து என்னோடய பிஜிடிஎம் பண்ணும்போது ஐ வாஸ் ஆக்சுவலி elected as a leader, but ஆனால் கூட வந்து என்னோடய ஃபஸ்ட் டைம் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் நான் லீடராக இருக்கும்போது I was able to do well in one point of time. Friends were able to support me. So this I am actually connecting with this as a positive self-talk, because நான் வந்து daily வந்து I used to speak, I used to ingrain myself with positive thoughts and positive energy, surround myself, so that அது எப்படியோ சப்கான்ஷியஸாக என் மைண்டில் என்டர் ஆகி I was able to do my things and activity very seriously, and I reached a goal. So visualize yourself in a good time management. நீங்கள் எப்படி வந்து ப்ரையாரிட்டைஸ் பண்ணுறீங்க டைம் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட்? How you are going to prioritize the time management from day 1 to day 100? You just challenge yourself and take up this 30-day challenge seriously. Once point of time you will be able to provide a good time management. உங்களுக்கே இருக்கும், டைம் ஸ்கெடியூல் இருக்கும், மெயின்டைன் a டைம் டேபிள், அந்த மாதிரி கூட நான் வந்து சொல்லலை. But it is just a diary. You maintain it as a diary, so this becomes a regular practice. As well as good working environment, and you keep working on a constant goal. தொடர்ந்து வந்து முயற்சி எடுத்துக்கிட்டே இருங்க. You keep working and keep on doing what you do. Of course, failures and some crises and also some difficulties might come, but the difficulties will be a learning factor to you once you cross over the boundaries actually. ஸோ ஒர்க்-லைஃப் பேலன்ஸுன்றது வந்து இட்ஸ் அ நியூ பஸ்வேர்ட். இட்ஸ் காயின்ட் அஸ் அ நியூ பஸ்வேர்ட், நியூ வார்த்தை அப்படின்ற மாதிரி சொன்னாங்க. ப்ராபப்ளி நாட். இட் வாஸ் ஆக்சுவலி காயின்ட் வே பேக் இன் சென்ச்சுரிஸ். ஒர்க்-லைஃப் பேலன்ஸுன்ற ஒரு கான்செப்ட், வேலையும் லைஃப்பையும் நம்ம எப்படி வந்து ஒரு பர்சனல் ப்ரொஃபஷனல் இதை வந்து மிக்ஸ் பண்ணாமல் எப்படி வந்து we are going to balance it as a self-proven thought. So it is a new buzzword when it comes into a corporate world, work-life balance. So day to day வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா there are a lot of peer pressures, there are a lot of subject related pressures, there are a lot of career issues and career pressures. எப்படி நான் வந்து முன்னேற போகிறேன், எப்படி வந்து நான் ஒரு நல்ல இதில் வர போகிறேன், எப்படி வந்து I'm going to self-sufficiently actually back up my family, back up my friends, back up my relatives, and back up my supportive system. அந்த மாதிரி lot of pressures are there. So this work-life balance actually plays a tremendous role in each other's part, because once it becomes a tremendous issue or take it as a pressure from your side, it definitely is not going to cope up from the person's or individual point of view. We'll just take it day one, step by step. It is like small you take it in a minimum small way. Small things does matter a lot in your life. Things actually starts in a smaller way, actually creating resources. So not one day, Rome was not built in a one day. So it is like a saying that goes on by saying that Rome was not built in a one day. அது வந்து just a phonetic word. இது வந்து ஒரு exclamatory அந்த மாதிரி நீங்கள் வந்து கற்றுக்கலாம். பட் இதை வந்து ஒரு லைஃப்பில் நீங்கள் யூஸ் பண்ணிங்கன்னா day by day you will build. One day you are going to build an empire among yourself. So it is a rise of the empire மாதிரி you can actually give it as an example. One day you are going to bring and stand an empire actually is going to stand by your side, is going to support by your side. So இது day ஒன்லேருந்து நீங்கள் வந்து ஆரம்பிச்சிங்கன்னா it's going to be very easy. Of course, there are many reasons to motivate the employees in an organization. The first thing comes within inside also is the inherent motivation. Employees வந்து தானாக வந்து motivation வரும். Unless there is no motivation from the employee point of view, the moment you tell anything from the employer perspective, this will not become a change in the happenings of the employee. So change is the one thing that's consistent and permanent in an organization and an employee. So motivation is an inherent thing. You have to identify the talent and give them the motivation. This completely avoids the employee burnout. So once motivation is given, the employee burnout has been ready, increases the employee's maximum health, so that he is not able to put any leaves, can apply maximum on the basis, reduces his absenteeism. Therefore, it also increases the productivity. Employee also feel much more happier the day when he steps inside the work and do a lot more than work. I'm going to do a work, I'm going to get up early. நான் வந்து காலையில் எழுந்திரிச்சு நல்லா வந்து ஒர்க் பண்ண போகிறேன், எனக்காக நான் வந்து வேலை செய்கிறேன். I'm going to remain happy, be also happy, make others also happy. So it is increasing in productivity. So let's go on to the history of the work-life balance. Of course, it is not going to be an entire history or past era of 1930s அப்படிலாம் நான் போகிறதில்ல. பட் ஒர்க் லைஃப் பேலன்ஸ்ன்ற காயின் வந்து பால் கிரஸ்னர் ஒருத்தர் வந்து காயின் பண்ணார். ஸோ திஸ் பால் கிரஸ்னர் வாட் இஸ் அபவுட் டு சே இஸ் அமெரிக்கன் ஜேர்னலிஸ்ட் who talks about history. He is in 1800s. In the 1800s, he was actually saying that work-life balance, it can't be anything. It can be one's each other's perspective. So it can be peers, pressures, and everything. The prioritization needs that matters a lot in work-life balance. So prioritization rather than how we are going to prioritize, how we are going to prioritize our work apart from the routine life, and how we are going to do our lifestyle pressures and leisure part of the family. So you are going to have a leisure dichotomy that was coined by Paul Kressner 1800s. The leisure dichotomy, two parts dichotomy, and leisure activities, leisure dichotomy. Now you are going to find very much interest towards work. You're going to love your job, what you do, you actually love towards immigrant among feeling. You're going to love what you do, love always what you do, so this becomes very easier. So happiness is a title separation. So happiness part also comes between a work-life balance between your work and your play. So what you're going to do, you're going to relate with your work as well as your personal life. So in relation with this, you're going to have work-life balance. The first used work-life balance has been coined by Paul Kressner as work-life balance plays an important concept among the one country. அது நீங்கள் கெஸ் பண்ணலாம், probably you find time. It is actually United Kingdom. In the late 1970s வந்து work-life balance வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து மெயினாக வந்து கன்சிஸ்டண்ட்டாக இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டாக கொடுத்த ஒரே இது வந்து யுனைடெட் கிங்டம் யூகே. தட்ஸ் ரைட் கைஸ். ஸோ இண்டிவிஜுவல்ஸோட ஒர்க்கும் பர்சனல் லைஃப்பும் எப்படி நம்ம வந்து ஒன்றா சரிசமமாக பேலன்ஸ் பண்ணுறோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு பார்க்குறது தான் work-life balance. ஸோ இட் இஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் phrase that was used in 1966 in United Kingdom. So work-life balance வந்து it is almost a lot of point where it is being talked about in day-to-day basis. Lot of motivational speaker as far as I am aware of talks about work-life balance, and this was mainly told by Adam Smith. He was a professional Adams industrialist. So அவரோட story எப்படின்னா, it goes on by saying that he had a lot of workers. At one point of time, workers actually able to do the job very much consistently. They were able to do very much productivity, and கொஞ்ச நாள் கழிச்சு வந்து their productivity gradually started to decrease. So Adam Smith started to say that எதனால வந்து productivity வந்து decrease ஆகுது suddenly, what is the matter அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. So what is the thing is that he changed a little bit of things where இதனால் வந்து அவங்க மோட்டிவேஷன் வந்து ஜாஸ்தியாக. ஃபஸ்ட் வந்து டைம் அண்ட் மோஷன் ஸ்டடி அப்படின்னு பண்ணாரு. ஸோ ஒரு ஒர்க்கை வந்து நீங்கள் வந்து எடுத்திங்கன்னா ஹவு இட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு கேரக்டரைஸ், ஹவு மச் டைம் யூர் கோயிங் டு டேக் ஃபார் த ஒர்க். ஸோ நான் இவ்வளோ நேரத்துக்கு தான் இந்த ஒர்க்கை வந்து பண்ண போகிறேன், இந்த நேரத்துக்குள்ளே நான் முடிக்க போகிறேன், இதான் டைம். எவ்வளோ மோஷன் வந்து எவ்வளோ ஆகுது, எவ்வளோ பேர் வந்து மூமெண்ட்டில் இருக்காங்க, எவ்வளோ பேர் ஒரு ஒர்க். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் வந்து அவரோட இதில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு மிஷினில் வந்து ஆக்சுவலாக 2 பேர் தான் ஒர்க் பண்ண முடியும். ஆனால் அந்த மிஷினில் வந்து ஒரு 4-5 பேர் ஒர்க் பண்ணனால இட் வாஸ் ஆக்சுவலி ஹேவ் டூயிங் லாட் ஆஃப் ரெப்புடேஷன். ஸோ ஹி ப்ரையாரிட்டைஸ் மெனி திங்ஸ் அண்ட் ஹி மேட் த பீப்புள் இண்டிவிஜுவல் ஸ்டாண்ட் பை இன் டூ. ஒரு மிஷினில் 2 பேர்னா 2 பேர் தான் இருக்கணும். ஸோ அது சமயம் வந்து ஒருத்தர் எடுத்து போடுறது, ஒருத்தர் இது பண்ணுறது, பிரிக்ஸ் இது பண்ணி எடுக்கிறது. ஸோ சைமல்டேனியஸாக ஒருத்தர் வந்து 2 வேலை பண்ணாமல் ப்ரையாரிட்டைஸ் பண்ணி ஒருத்தருக்கும் ஒரு வேலையை அப்படியே பிரித்து கொடுக்கும்போது லாட் ஆஃப் டைம் got saved, lot of initiative has been made. Very simple idea by Adam Smith. So இதனால் வந்து it reduces a lot of time and it increased the productivity. இதனால் வந்து he also decided to have adequate rest in between ஒரு 15 to 20 minutes rest. Power nap அப்படின்றாங்க, 5 minutes of power nap. This also has a lot of productivity and this also has a lot of change in your life. You also try it guys. This power nap is for 5 to 10 minutes individually. In between நீங்கள் வந்து இப்படி எடுத்துட்டு நீங்கள் வந்து பண்ணீங்கன்னா you will be able to have a lot of consciousness, you will be able to have a lot of motivation. The moment to take one side of the work எடுத்து பண்ணிங்கன்னா it will become a drastic change in your life. You will get a lot of motivated. So இந்த மாதிரி he was able to do quite adequate time and rest. So இதனால் வந்து he increased the productivity by this type of day. So he was a great management guru. Other than that he was known as Adam Smith. He was also included the Wealth of Nation. Wealth of Nation was a book. It was coined on it was introduced on 1870s or something, 1877. Wealth of Nation அதில் வந்து கிளியராக yes introduced how the industrialization era came into the play 16th centuryலேருந்து எப்படி வந்து இண்டஸ்ட்ரியலைசேஷன் வந்து இதாச்சு, எப்படி ஒர்க்கர்ஸ் வந்து தேர் ஏபிள் டு ஒர்க் ஃபார் மோர் ப்ரொடக்டிவிட்டி இதெல்லாம். ஸோ அது வந்து நான் ஒரு நாள் ஐ வில் பி பிரீஃப்லி எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுவேன். ஸோ ஆன் ஜாயினிங் ஒர்க் லைஃப் பேலன்ஸ்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு கம்பெனியில் ஜாயின் பண்ணதுக்கப்புறம் ஆஸ்டின் ஃபர்ம்னு ஒரு கம்பெனி இருக்குது. தே ஆக்சுவலி இன்வெஸ்டட் லாட் அமங் த எம்ப்ளாயிஸோட பெனிஃபிட்காக அவங்க ரொம்ப வந்து இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணாங்க. திஸ் ஆல்சோ டர்ன்ட் த எம்ப்ளாயீஸ் டியூனிங் இன் டு தம் ப்ரொஃபஷனலி, எமோஷ்னலி அண்ட் as well as physically, and they felt very strong. இதனால வந்து they actually had a lot of investment and they invested in a lot more common things. ரொம்ப பெரிய இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்லாம் they didn't make any money investment, they invested in a lot more common things. For example, each employee is finding the work very interesting as long as you have commitment in the employee's life. You are going to change the employee's life. அப்போ எம்ப்ளாயிஸ்க்கு வந்து உங்கள் மேலே வந்து ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் வரும். he is there for me, he will help me, the boss is there for me. So he termed a way that he actually installed a tracker. He actually gave everyone a Fitbit pedometer where it tracks the steps on a regular basis. So இதனால் வந்து employees got motivated. Day to day physical அவங்க ஹெல்த்தையும் பார்த்துக்கிற மாதிரி எமோஷனலாக ஸ்டெபிலிட்டி இருக்கிற மாதிரி employees got lot of motivation within them. So இதனால் வந்து they burnt as well as lot much of calories, and also they actually had a lot much of finishing the work on time. அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து they had lot of motivation in burning the calories as well as giving a far more better targets than the previous year. So இதனால் வந்து there was lot more changes in the Austin firm and they have invested a lot of growth. This changed drastically in 2 years and now they are actually number 10 of 10th இதில் வந்து they are within the 10 places of Austin. So இது மாதிரி ஒரு சின்ன சேஞ்ச் வந்து is able to do. In some ways he is able to achieve the goals and objectives. So the pedometer concept வந்து you have Fitbit pedometer, Versalite and Outfit and நிறைய இருக்குது. So it is mainly concept like it calculates the travel, calculates the steps, distance, number of calories burnt, number of floors climbed, how much minutes you are going to do. It also has a workout, running apps, speedometer. You can install wallet in it. இந்த மாதிரி டிரான்சாக்ஷன்ஸ் வந்து ஆன்லைனில் பண்ணுற மாதிரி. ஸோ இதில் வந்து பல்ஸ் ரேட் இதெல்லாம் வந்து கன்சிஸ்டண்ட்டாக ஒரு எம்ப்ளாயிஸ்க்கு வந்து தெரியுது. ஸோ இந்த பல்ஸ் ரேட் அவங்களுக்கு வந்து தெரியுறதுனால they are able to acknowledge them as they are having a good health and they are able to monitor the heart, BP எல்லாமே எடுக்கிறதுனால it was a very useful tool to increase the productivity of the employee as well as tracking their runs and cardios, biking, move on அந்த மாதிரி நிறையா வந்து they are able to track on a regular basis. So another famous job options in today's working from home, work from home is an option. Of course, a lot of internship and a lot of jobs are actually providing a lot of opportunities and work from home. Take an example, a lot of platforms are also available like Internshala. You can do a paid internship where you can select a part-time, full-time and work from home option by category. So if you have to do work from home option, you have to know your job description JD, and where the job description says what and all you have to do on the particular interest and what you have to do. Then you are just going to spend for 4 to 5 hours. This in turn actually has a greater benefit towards the working students who are able to do their job part-time. அவங்க வந்து 3-4 hours they are able to do some work, pay a stipend and the main lot of initiative has started. They are able to concentrate on studies. This is a work from home option. This is a part-time and full-time is also there. Part-time basis work from home வந்து கொஞ்சம் full-time basis work from home option it has up to 8 hours to 10 hours and options நிறைய இருக்குது. You can have Internshala இருக்குது, Let's Intern இருக்குது, Frap இருக்குது. So these are all some of the available platforms. You can also just click on the below link. I will also post it below for your information. So this and all have a great knowledge towards work from home platform, how it is helpful in having impact on the employees. So it may vary from employee. சில எம்ப்ளாயி வந்து ஒர்க் ஃப்ரம் ஹோம் ஆப்ஷன் நாட் வெரி யூஸ் டு சே தட் ஒர்க் ஃப்ரம் ஆப்ஷன் மாதிரி இருக்காது. ஏன்னா வந்து ஆஃபீஸில் போய் ஒர்க் பண்ணுற மாதிரி இருக்காது. த அட்மாஸ்ஃபியர் விச் யூ டூயிங் அட் ஹோம் this far more compared which is not showing up in the office. So in the needs of them வந்து சில பேருக்கு வந்து it varies between individual and employees. So meetings இதனால் வந்து can be accessed remotely, and a lot of seminars and a lot of conference calls are actually taken by, and these conference calls have been taken from work from home itself. So it becomes a very much time saving factor. They can also invest in real time money and they can also earn some profit, maximize their profit. Company is also ready to invest for employees, and that's as long as they are able to provide a company with great assets. So working from home, there was a research done by Indeed. So Indeed வந்து ஒரு job search on a platform உங்களுக்கே தெரியும். This is the greatest number one among millions of job search வந்து Indeed-க்கு வந்து 25 best online company வந்து they are used to do a research that consisted upon work-life balance, how they are able to balance. இந்த company வந்து lot more than work-life balance எந்த கேட்டகரியில், ஏவியேஷன் கேட்டகரி, இண்டஸ்ட்ரி கேட்டகரியா, ஷார்ட் டர்ம் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியா, ஃபினான்ஸ் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியா, ஹெச்ஆர்எம் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியா, ஐடி இண்டஸ்ட்ரியா, இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில் வந்து they used to have some category. ஸோ இதில் வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா ஏர்லைன் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ஜம்ப் ஃபார் நம்பர் 58th பொசிஷன் வந்து 13th பொசிஷனுக்கு வந்து நம்ம டாப் மோஸ்ட் லிஸ்ட்டில் வந்து 13th பொசிஷன் வந்து இப்போ வந்து ஒன் ஆஃப் த 10 டாப் லிஸ்ட்டில் வந்து 5 to 6 4th to 5th பொசிஷன் வந்து இருக்காது. எதுனா they have lot more commitment to the employees. They have given lot more perks, they have given wellness and they have given good career development for the employee according to work schedule. They are also given lot of opportunities where there is an alternative work schedule, they have compressed work. flexible time, flexible start இந்த மாதிரி வந்து they are giving them. So this have a lot of times and job sharing. They are able to concentrate on their family. They have an emotional connect between the company as well as the family. So family is the first most priority. Company is also able to invest and ready to invest for the employees so that they are able to stay in the long term basis. Restricting the number of hours work. So if you are going to work for 6 hours, if you are going to feel that I am not going to invest really on time on that much productivity, and the 6 hours of time you are not going to waste anything on working from home. So this is 6 hours is also enough. A person who works more than 10 hours or 11 hours, if you are not going to serve any productivity to the company, this becomes a total waste. But unless he works for 6 hours and that 6 hours is consistent and able to give some productivity towards the company part, the company is also ready to invest a far much better talent than the person who is investing in the so 6 hours the company வந்து எம்ப்ளாயி ஒர்க் பண்ணுறவங்க வந்து கம்பெனி இஸ் ரெடி டு ஹையர் அந்த மாதிரி. ஸோ இட் இஸ் அ ஒர்க் மோட் ரொட்டீன் ஒர்க் ப்ரையாரிட்டைஸ் த திங்ஸ் டெவலப்பிங் த கல்ச்சர் பாடிக்கு வந்து கண்டிப்பாக வந்து எம்ப்ளாயிஸோட இருக்கணும். இட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ பிகம்ஸ் ஆஃபீஸ் ப்ரெமிசஸ் இன்சைட் ஆஃபீஸ் ப்ரெமிசஸ் ஆஃப் த கல்ச்சர் ஹஸ்பண்ட் த கரியர் டெவலப்மெண்ட் ஹஸ்பண்ட் ஹவு த எம்ப்ளாயிஸ் கல்ச்சர். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் யூஎஸ் ஃபார்ம்ஸ் அண்ட் லாட் ஆஃப் ஃபார்ம்ஸ் இஸ் ஹக்கிங் இஸ் அ சர்டன் டைப் ஆஃப் கல்ச்சர். அவங்க வந்து விஷ் பண்ணும்போது தேர் நாட் கோயிங் டு ஷேக் ஹேண்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் தேர் ஏபிள் டு ஹக் த எம்ப்ளாயிஸ் அந்த பேஸ். ஸோ திஸ் பிகம் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கல்ச்சர் வேர் இந்தியன்ஸ் கெட் அஃபெக்டட். நம்மளுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி கல்ச்சர் கிடையாது. ஸோ வீ நார்மலி கிவ் ஷேக் ஹேண்ட்ஸ் ஆர் வி நார்மலி கிவ் லைக் நமஸ்காரம் அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம தமிழ் இதில் இருந்து இது பண்ணுவோம். ஸோ ஒருத்தருக்கு வந்து கல்ச்சர் வைஸ் மாறுது. திஸ் இஸ் த கல்ச்சர். So this is the culture in the week that has been concept, focusing on the outcome and not on the hours worked. So this is the next I'm going to brief about. So focusing on the outcome, as I mentioned on the previous slide, is that only outcome basis not focus on it. It is also because of the outcome basis which are focused and now counts. So in my blogs, 10 to 15 hours work on the outcome. It is not being used. It is not more connected. For example, the previous I have mentioned smart goals, specific, measurable, opportunity, time bound, and realistic. So இதெல்லாம் வந்து ஒரு வகையான tools that can be used for you and for the self evaluator of the concept. The tools that have been used are smart goals. So 8 hours spent a day taking an office, if you are not going to serve any productivity, it becomes a total waste. A person is going to invest 4 hours and going to serve the 4 hours of total productivity. So it is far more than 8 hours. The 4 hours has been lessened to 4 hours, 8 hours. So when you're able to work long side of 8 hours, you're not going to serve any productivity, it becomes a total waste of time. So worldwide fund gives employees an opportunity to invest a total correct amount of time. So they have started an initiative like brown bag lunch every day. So brown bag lunch is where they socialize. It main lunch time வந்து family that eats together stays together. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கம்பெனி வந்து PS bondings எல்லாருமே வந்து ஒன்றா சாப்பிட்டு if they eat together, the company would total growth and total development actually stays together in a correct bonding. So அதான் இந்த கான்செப்ட். They are able to socialize with the CEOs, CFOs and lot more projects have been coming into place so that the CEOs brown bag lunches வந்து they are going to எல்லாரும் வந்து ஒன்றா வந்து they are having a brown bag lunches initiative. So this actually they are able to discuss with the CEOs and CFOs. It only takes an ego between the factors and the hesitation when the employees get in the போகலாம். So this mind learn something new and have a greater impact on the employee as well. So this is the brown bag initiative. Of course, so many offices been following that. They have a dinner meetings and outgoing meetings and they have hotel meetups, restaurants there. They also have the Mahindra stay, the club they actually have a stay coupons and the opportunities they are actually providing. So this actually makes the employees invest on a long-term basis and retention strategy, attrition rate also is far more right compared to this. Promotion breaks during the day. So promotional breaks, how they are able to give in between adequate breaks and medicine. The employees is also having some promotional breaks off their desk. They need to get away off from their desk at some point of time. So considering to getting off, spend some time vacation, taking a day off, definitely needs a breakaway. So in the breakaway their mind gets totally charged up. So this reduces indeed the stress level. So இதனால வந்து employees are going to concentrate and personally manage their life and so that's the productive part of the fact of the work comes between. They far more into the productivity also is going to increase if you're making adequate breaks besides this. So charitable ventures. So this actually CSR comes into play, corporate social responsibility. As you know guys, 2% of this companies compulsory have to invest on CSR. That is actually 10% of the grant, 10% to 15% of the grant. Small grant, medium grant and large grant has been specified onto the cost. Small grant is 10,000, more than 10 to 15,000 is medium grant and more than 15 crore has been invested as long as large grant. 10 crores to 10 crores, 15 crores and more than 15 to 20 crores has been invested on the large grant. So this is what they have a board meeting where they are able to serve on subtopics like women employment, child employment, rural development and other subtopics. They are going to present towards the board. If the board finds that is appropriate, they are able to serve some constituency. The board actually has to find appropriate and they have to give some some measures அவங்க வந்து லெட்ஸ் கோ ஃபார் இட் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அவங்க அப்ரூவல் கொடுத்தாங்க. if we are going to take our safe side, it becomes very compulsive. The company feels it's earning more than 10,000 INR crores அதெல்லாம் இருந்துச்சுன்னா they are going to invest 2% of the CSR, that is up to 15 lakh compulsory invest பண்ணி ஆகணும். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி இனிஷியேட்டிவ் வந்து சேரிட்டபிள் வந்து they are going to adopt a home, they are going to adopt an NGO which actually concentrates on child development, rural development, can be anything, AIDS, HIV infected person, affected person எதனால இருக்கலாம். So they are going to give something, they are going to arrange programs. ஸோ இதனால் வந்து they are going to have a personal recognition towards the company, not towards a personal motive of growth. The recognition is there for the company so that the company can be growing into a far more better manner, doing things more than happily, serving the goals in the customer life. That's one meaning for them. You have to create an identity for the company. So இதனால் வந்து lot of CS initiative but this actually mainly develops the company, increases their loyalty as well as their employability brand. The loyalty is being increased due to this. The recognition brand is being created. The brand வந்து the brand value வந்து integrity-யோட வெளியே கொண்டு the company is able to do a far more better option than creating the loyalty benefits. So vacation time policy is there, recreational time policy. Vacation time policy is not possible and increasing numbers are going for vacation could be made available. So in between the Saturday, Sundays day off probably weekends we are going to work for 6 days a week. Monday off they are going to have compensatory pay off, compensatory benefits in the main compensation perks in the they are going to take some vacation leave, time off leave, sick leave. In the main benefits of the companies are being made available so their employees also have interest. Giving extra day bonuses, other than the extra day paid off, compensatory off in the scheme period of weekly pay of leaves, incentives pay, extra hours paid layers of work, late paid labor leave, public holidays for among if they are going to work, they are going to celebrate their milestones. Even though they have compensatory of extra incentives because of that they will help employees to get milestones வந்து really good refreshing break அவங்க வந்து எடுக்கிறாங்க. This encourages the employee to go up a mile further to all vacation, letting it would be a good idea. So on the my vacations, providing healthcare benefits for pregnant lactating women, அவங்களுக்குலாம் வந்து if they are going to have going to work in a company, they are being provided with creatures and they have recreational activity in the form of child care options. So a lot of sick and இதெல்லாம் வரும்போது doctors are able to, nurses are able to take care of the child, so the mothers are able to concentrate on the work for which happily they are going to benefit all around. Both them is, but the parents can also focus on their work. அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய ஆப்ஷன்ஸ் வந்து we are actually seeing on the coming way. Now வந்து it is actually treated by work life balance என்ற கான்செப்ட் வந்து a lot more buzzword that has been used. It is not impossible as a dream நீங்கள் நினச்சிக்கூடாது. Because take example of a common person, you can also take example, நான் என்ன எடுக்கணும்னு சொல்லலை, நான் பொதுவாக சொல்கிறேன். எக்ஸாம்பிள் எப்படி வந்து ப்ரையாரிட்டைஸ் பண்ணுறீங்க, ப்ரையாரிட்டைஸ் திங்ஸ் இன் ஹேண்ட் ஆஃப்கோர்ஸ் ஒர்க் அண்ட் லைஃப் கோ ஹேண்ட் இன் ஹேண்ட். இது வந்து ப்ரையாரிட்டைசேஷன் தான் மெயின் பார்ட். பேரண்ட்ஸ் கேன் ஆல்சோ ஃபோக்கஸ் ஆன் their work அந்த மாதிரி சொல்லும்போது ப்ரையாரிட்டைசேஷன் plays a vital role. So this actually has develop a great strategy and great talent towards an individual perspective. நீங்கள் யாருன்னு ஒரு ஐடென்டிட்டி வந்து கிரியேட் பண்ணுங்கள். கண்டிப்பாக வந்து develops a development inside you. A little bit of sensitivity and thought வந்து should be added and the work life balance so that what you're going has been prefixed, like a goal setting theory might be like achieved towards a goal. Consistently work on your part so that that can also have a lot more than impact and the goal வந்து a lot more impact. It has a lot more impact on your personal life and social life as well. So this work-life balance is actually have a far more creativity on the employee's perspective, because this is going to play a major role on every employee factor. This is going to play a major role on every employee factor. Of course, this has a lot of impact on employees. This has a lot of impact on employees' life, so that this work-life balance should have a wider and greater impact as days go by, because this has been showed as a lot of improvement in the upcoming days. So the work-life balance is a greater concept, so you consistently work on your goal and how it has been having a greater impact on the concept of work-life balance, as it is a new buzzword. So this work-life balance, if you go on, I could also speak day by day, because it has a lot of concepts in it that has been ingrained in it. You can also go on. Speaking of the work-life balance, a lot of famous motivators, a lot of famous authors. Of course, it has been written as a book by Adam Smith, A Wealth of Nature, that I will be going to share with you within a couple of days as well. So this work-life balance plays a major role. So this somewhat is like it goes on. So I would end up with this presentation by saying that don't confuse having a career with having a life. So if you are going to have a career and you are going to choose that is your life, but you don't confuse it with your personal life, because career is different and the life is different. Career part is that you can be successful, but if you're not successful in real life, it is totally a failure whatever you achieve inside the career. So this go hand in hand. You have to balance both the things. At one point of time, career and personal life go hand in hand. Sometimes you have to work from your heart and bottom of your soul and work consistently on your goal. Rest of it all depends upon God, who was actually watching you clearly. Having putting your sincere effort on this day one, it is actually going to reflect on your team as well as your goals. So without this, the career, if you're going to invest, you're going to constantly be in an emotional pressure. Of course, be spiritual as well. Read some spiritual thoughts. Spiritual life is also very important with having a life. So this is I would end by saying that having a don't mix up career with your life, so that this will create unnecessary stress on you guys. So you can't actually mix up the career in your life, so this will have a lot of stress in your life. So the next thing I would end up, just give me 5 minutes. Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. So whatever you do, make yourself busy. Do some things which actually constantly that what this actually enhances sharpen your saw, sharpen your talent, something. But don't get so busy and hooked up into it, because you're actually missing the fun in personal life. Enjoy your life, love the nature, enjoy with your friends, be close with everyone, help others, and this kind of the little small things. If you're going to do this, find a lot of satisfaction in life. Of course, do some charity as well. So I'm going to make this presentation an ending ceremony. Thank you guys. Make sure to subscribe the video, and you can also brief up your comments, and actually you can also open up your views. Any far more discrimination is almost welcome. If you have any comments, if you have any discussion, please put on please put on the below, so that it will become far more easier. I will also able to cope up something and change according to your guys show. Bye.